Okay, today I'm underneath my flatbed trailer and I'm going to show you how to adjust electric brakes. If they're, of course, if they're not the self-adjusting type, you need to adjust these things. It's relatively straightforward. You see right here underneath the brake drum toward the bottom there's a plastic cap here. Sometimes they go missing, but there's a plastic cap. I already loosened this one up, so I'm just going to take this plastic cap off. Sometimes you have to use a screwdriver. This is where you adjust your electric brakes. I'm going to show you what's inside here. Kind of tough to see in that little space, but there's a reason why they just put a slot there. You see inside there, there's like little slots and knobs or ridges. You see the bottom one, there's the middle one, there's the top one. Now that goes clear around a specialized nut called a star wheel. And they call it a star wheel, of course, because it's got the ridges sticking out like a star shape. Now, of course, you have to have the trailer jacked up. Make sure you don't just put it on jacks. That's typical common sense. Make sure you have it on jack stands or something that's not going to collapse. So you want the tire to be able to freewheel. Now you can hear a little bit of brake drag on this. I've already adjusted this brake, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it anyways on this one. So what you do is you put this in the slot and feel around for those detents in that star wheel. And once you got a grip on one, you'll feel that the screwdriver won't slip. What you do is you start pushing the screwdriver down, and what that does is that indexes the star wheel upward. And there's metal tabs in there that it sits against, so it'll click every time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And every time you click that star wheel, you want to try to turn the wheel. And what will happen is the wheel will get to the point where it locks up. Because what you're doing is that nut, as it indexes, it's on a threaded rod hooked to the brake pads, and it pushes the brake pads out against the inner diameter of the brake drum, and of course causes friction. It gets to the point after you adjust it a while that the tire won't be able to turn. So let's get it to that point. Just adjust that. Now it's to the point now, it's going to take you a little bit more than that if you haven't adjusted it for a year or two, and you should do this every year, but I didn't last year. I just didn't get to it. But this year definitely, because as I was going down the road, you'll notice when the electric brakes come on, they'll start pulling to one side or the other, and that's uneven braking, and that's something you really want to avoid if you don't want to go screaming off the road and hit a tree or something. So anyway, this is what you want. You want to the point where you can't move this wheel anymore. And when you get to that point, you want to put the screwdriver up and then adjust that star wheel back down, index it till it clicks to the point where the tire can start to move again. Now it's still dragging pretty much. What you actually want is for the wheel to have some drag but not much. So that's pretty good right there. You can hear a little bit of drag. That's just barely touching the brake drum. Bear in mind when you're in the Northeast, you have a lot of damp weather, and you get rust. If the trailer's stored outside, especially, the cast iron is going to rust. It's going to have scale on it. So as you're adjusting this brake, you're going to hear some of that scale being knocked off. So you're going to have to rotate this a few times, get that cleaned out in there, and then get the wheel so it locks up, then back off to the point where you hear that. That's what you want right there. That means that the brake pads are just barely skimming the brake drum, but you don't want any excessive drag. You want it to freewheel. Okay, that's done. I'm going to move to the other three. I'm not going to show that, of course, because I think you get the point. Once you do that, you go ahead and put the cap back in, just like that, and it's done. It's just that simple. But of course, don't forget to use jack stands like I said, and also remember to grease your wheel bearings every year. The spring-loaded ones are my favorite, and make sure everything's good and greased and your tire pressure's up. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a thumbs up if you would, please. And subscribe to my channel also if you like the content. And Until next time, I will see you later.